What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Down the Middle. So we're doing something different today. We're calling it. We might not have a name for it
yet.
Yeah, it's maybe marketing down the middle marketing tips. I don't know. We'll think of this and we might change the name by the next one. What we want to do is start also giving you guys a little bit of marketing advice. Obviously, Max and myself have a lot of knowledge in marketing space. We both own agencies, a lot of different brands as well. So we wanted to give you kind of quick tips and tricks to scale your agency or service business, consulting, coaching, whatever it is you are. If you're selling a service online, which most people that are listening to us do, we want to give you some tips and tricks to be able to do this in 2022. Stuff that is effective and works today, stuff that we are implementing right now inside of our businesses. So do you want to start with tip number one?
Yeah, well, we're doing this on the fly too. We decided we're gonna talk about this like 45 seconds ago. So we're gonna kind of rapid fire through a bunch of tips and advice. I think I wouldn't even label this tip number one because it's you're putting priority on this. I would just say let's kind of go through different ideas and things that we've done that have worked really well. I think a lot of people don't like to do this. Because they feel uncomfortable, but I think it's really critical. Whether it's you or a partner or somebody that's involved in the agency, there needs to be a face. There needs to be somebody that's actively out there.
Agreed.
Speaking, creating content, engaging in communities, building influence. It's huge.
Right.
Because I think like if you're in the outbound game, right, where you're just like you have a sales team, you're trying to sell people, it's a really hard model to break. It's hard to scale an agency if you're just cold calling and trying to sell, because you're going to get, not only is it obviously more work and more expensive and your margins are lower, but the clients you're getting are usually going to be worse because the dynamic is different. They know you need them more than, they need you. Right. And so for me, it's like build influence, create content, put out content, speak at events, speak at masterminds, get yourself out there. Or if it's not you, it's the partner, it's somebody in your company that can do that. That starts to generate a lot more inbound leads in deal flow where the dynamic is different. They want to work with you because they want to be around you.
Right.
They want to work with Los. They want to work with Josh. They want to work with Max. They want to work with, whoever it is. Like you look at Shaq, like they want to work with these guys. They want to be involved with them.
Right. No, I would agree. And kind of like to piggyback on that, I think that the big thing that we're focused on right now in all of our stuff is, and I'll kind of do twofold because I'll say something that Neil Patel gave me an idea that I implemented and it worked really well. But number one is content. We're focused super on content, creating content, and not niche specific, just really kind of building your brand. We have this show. We create a lot more content, putting content out on every platform and making sure that a little bit of it is tweaked to be specific to that platform and having consistency of content. If you're just like, hey, we made some content today and like, I don't do it and it's not consistent, it's just going to be, you're going to have this kind of an agency. And if you're focused on content and building creative and just kind of having that conversation, putting yourself out there, you are the expert and people are hiring an agency because they want to see experts. We work with a lot of agencies on the consulting side as well, helping them scale their businesses. And it's crazy, just like you said, a lot of people will put a little bit out and they're like, they charge small prices. They can't get past like a certain ceiling. And then I tell them to charge more for their services so they can afford to spend money on content, not even on ads, on sharing content, creating content, and putting the content out. And it works literally almost immediately. So if you're not creating content in 2022, when it's the creator economy, I think you're really doing yourself a disservice and your agency the same.
Yeah, so I think that's a big one. I think from a business model standpoint, a growth standpoint, there's a few things you can also be doing that we've done that's been very successful. One is like not trying to do everything, right? So I think a lot of agencies, they start as, I'm a Facebook ad agency, I'm an Instagram growth agency, whatever it is, marketing agency.
Right.
And they get a client that asks them one day, hey, do you do this? And they're like,
sure, we
could do this and charge for it. And they get that. Now they start doing more services. And you're not really great at any of the services. You're kind of mediocre and you have to hire more people. For us, we've just built up relationships with all the best people. So I'd rather be a referral partner. So we have our core competency. We do media buying for Facebook, TikTok. Anything outside that, we have partners that we can refer to, and we have great referral deals. So we get passive income coming in. We don't have to hire. We don't add any additional expenses. It's pure profit. So that's one thing, I think, build out that referral network. So people are going to come to you as the expert. Like you're the expert. They trust your opinion. You make recommendations and they're good. Plus it helps you on the media buying side. If you're a media buying agency and now you've got them in a really good CRO agency, a really good email agency, that makes them more profitable, more effective on the back end, which makes you more effective. You can spend more money, right? And then the other is just getting beyond just doing retainer. And I've talked about this a lot of times. I think the perfect agency does three things. I think you have your retainer clients, I think you have performance clients, and I think you have your moonshot kind of equity clients, right? So that gives you kind of maximum exposure and covers your downside and gives you maximum upside. So if retainer clients that pay you a fixed amount or percent of ad spend every month, that covers your overhead, gives you whatever margin you want to make a little profit. Then you do performance deals, which gives you kind of that big swing of cash where you can make a lot of money day to day. You don't have to deal with client calls. You don't have to deal with any of those headaches. You just buy media. And then you have the select few equity deals where they're companies that you're really excited about, you think could be really big, that you're helping grow pretty massively. And you're getting a piece of those companies. Maybe you're not getting any cash. You're just getting a piece of the company. But that helps you, 3, 5, 10 years on the road. If they sell, if they exit, whatever it is, you can get a big payday.
Right.
So yeah, that's from a business model standpoint. I think more agencies should be doing those three things.
So to piggyback on both and add, the thing that Neil Patel told me one time was like, stop having like an agency and start building more service businesses. And what I mean by that is, for example, I own 4 agencies essentially. We have a social growth that only does social growth, which is really just social growth services, media buying, funnel building for personal brands, which is one other one, email marketing and SMS for e-commerce, which is specific services just for that, and lead generation, right, for certain verticals and stuff like that. And so we niched down, and by niching down, we were able to get better clients, charge more prices, and hire different teams in different P&Ls, different everything, which also at the end of the day helped me increase my margins. And the same thing one of the things that I wanted to add to that. So if you're thinking about doing this, niche down, and if you want to do more, consider, I have different partners on everything that's running kind of like the operations, and I'm the face, just kind of like you said at the beginning. And one thing that I will say and stress on the equity side of stuff, if you're beginning or you're kind of like in the middle, like kind of growing, a lot of times you'll find these opportunities and you'll feel like, oh man, like we could make millions, blah, blah, blah. Be really, really selective on the equity opportunities. Most of them don't come to fruition. You really got to hit that moonshot, like you said. We have on SVG exactly that model. So we have fixed prices for media buying. This is what you get. This is what we do. Then we have select deals where we get a percentage of the profit if we scale the business. We get commission on that success. And then if it's the right person, we will entertain possibly getting equity or having some sort of opportunity in the exit or significant profit share by the end of the year, more than just a profit share deal, kind of like an equity kind of opportunity. But we are really, really select in doing those. We've had success. We've also had massive failures by thinking that some stuff is going to change our life and be the biggest thing in the world. Because at the end of the day, frankly, if someone's asking you to do that, you are the entire marketing engine for the most part. So there's a lot of pressure on you. And if you get into that equity side, you also might be liable for a lot of those failures, for a lot of the processes and programs that are not working out inside of things that are outside of your capability, because that's not what you guys are focused on, but yet you are part of that company. So I think they're great deals. We do them. He does them as well. We will continue to do them, but they are significantly vetted. They used to not even be vetted. It was like, oh, that sounds, I'm in. But now they're very, very vetted, and they're few and far between, just because you are putting a lot of capital, human allocation, that you're kind of eating that expense, that cost, to kind of for a possibility. So another opportunity that you can do there is, if you do that, I would say, hey, we are going to do this, but I'm going to charge you base rate just for the human capital of people. We have to still incur expenses here. I don't want to eat all that. And so instead of $10,000, we're going to charge you $4, or whatever the case, whatever your numbers look like and stuff like that. So between those things, building your personal brand, or having someone in the business, or maybe even more than one, having a personal brand, connecting, going to speak, going to events, networking, building out that referral base, building out that opportunities that if you are not going to niche down, build multiple agencies, have the right partners that you can get that passive income from, and selecting the right people for opportunities in scale and selling, the right people for profit share deals, and always having a baseline of charging. I think that is the exact way that you should run an agency, because it gives you, hey, I know that 10 clients are paying me X 10K, so I got 100K coming here. If we do well for John, Pete, and Tommy, we can make another 100K because that's rev share deals. And then we're, kind of having our moonshot here that in 3 to 5 years, we can make 20 million or 5 million or whatever the case off that, right?
Yeah. And then I would say just to wrap on ideas, because a lot of people ask me, what, like if I was starting an agency, what should I start, right? If you're new to it or thinking about doing it, I think right now the biggest opportunity, if I was starting something, is a niche TikTok ad agency.
100%.
You could do it on the organic side, on the paid side. Meaning, like with Facebook back in the day when it started taking off, early, there were generalists because it was so popular. You could just run TikTok ads for anybody, Facebook ads for anybody, and that's fine. But then what started blowing up was like guys that were just the best at Facebook ads for chiropractors, for gyms, for lead gen, for high ticket. And the same thing's gonna happen with TikTok. Right. So I would focus on a niche and just dominate that. Right, something really specific. Gyms, chiropractors, high ticket, course creators.
Because then you can templatize and systemize the process a lot faster as well.
Exactly. Once you crack the code for
it's the same
one
thing
chiropractor,
for everyone.
Now you can do it for every other chiropractor. You know it works. Your margins go up because it's way more scalable, and you can just easily tell people, hey, I helped these 20 chiropractors increase their bookings 35% in the first month. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that's the best agency to start as well. If I had to pick one more, this is a little bit harder, but it's very, very on demand. I would build a creative agency. So I would just make creatives at scale at a high clip, very nice creatives, working with influencers and stuff like that. Because you can charge really good margins and it's on demand. People need that right now because there's not a lot of good people doing it. And the ones that are doing well are doing extremely well with that. So those two opportunities, I think, that are right for the picking in 2022 and beyond. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, guys, let us know. Max Finn on Instagram at Los Hustle. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.